Okay, mine is short. Where would I find information about the length that they can actually take during maternity leave and the length or the time frame that they can use for educational leave, right, if there's any such thing?
Where's the FMLA, and is that an OPM? Where is that? The personnel, where can we?
You can find that in any of the OPM things. You can just find it. Basically, you just go in any of your search engines, all right? Just put in opm.gov and then put in Family Friendly Leave Act or Family Medical Leave Act, or since we've given you CyberFeds one, you can go in there and they usually do a quick synopsis of it, or we'll connect you with other ones. CyberFeds. Okay. Again, any of your search engine, just put in CyberFeds, and when it says login, I always try and send the local reps the update on that if you don't remember it. Right now it is, I can't remember in small letters, I think. I'm not sure if it'll do it with the caps. I don't know, but they change that about every 6 months. The agency pays for it. They know everybody has access to it. Okay? And if you can't get through with it, remember that the first part, I have used it so many times, it just comes up automatically when I hit S. It comes in there. So I'm, top of my head, I'm thinking that's the login for it. So if you don't get in there, let me know. But you go to the CyberFeds login, not the workers' comp stuff and that. It's an excellent source for case histories. It's an excellent thing for giving you guides to that. But if you want to go and read the actual law, then you go to OPM and look at it. And it's also on the federal codes. But boy, if you want to try and read a federal code, no, I mean really, it's this and this, if not that, and there are pages and pages and pages of federal codes. And usually you try and look for somebody else who's distilled it on it. I mean, I will occasionally read the federal codes, but if you're doing a case you want to know, you would definitely read the federal code on it. But for the most part, those are your two best sources.
Okay, that's cyberfeds.org? Is it cyberfeds.org?
I think it's .com.
What?
.com.
Cyberfeds. For OPM?
No, CyberFeds.
CyberFeds is a com.
Yeah, it's a commercial.
Just put in, yeah, she threw it right here. It's a company that provides it.
I have two questions. One is there a percentage as to how?
There is none.
Okay. And the other one is in regards to like conflicts on leave and then having to go to the roster. If somebody who's involved in one of those conflicts and they have already been requesting advanced annual leave, so they're like in the hole, and they've asked for, let's say, the 4th of July week off, and you know that's caused a conflict, are they allowed to, how am I trying to say this?
So wait, let me see if I'm clear so far. So far you said an individual is in the hole for leave,
right?
And by the 4th of July they will have enough leave? Because they can't, management can't.
They could have enough leave if their pattern does not continue on.
Right. So management, oh, okay. So they're going to cause conflict.
The presumption is if they can earn enough leave before that time, that they're included in it. Or I mean, you can't make the presumption they're not going to have enough leave, you know, by that time. Because the thing too is they can be earning credit hours and that, and they can use their credit hours. I mean, credit hours is approved at the same time as any other leave. So you really can't say that unless it was like now, and remember it says on the advanced leave, unless they're on some type of disciplinary action, you can't not basically approve the advanced leave anyway. So no, I mean that's just like if you're saying Anita puts in for that time and then decides to retire, you know, June 30th, if they go and say, we're going to do high 5 instead of high 3. You know, and people may make a decision based on that if Congress decides to do that. You can't say, oh, well, she should have known that she might retire so she can't get the time approved. That's not a consideration. You can't do the what if type thing. Just like when they approve maternity leave, the anticipation is the person will come back. You can't do the what if they don't come back, or, you know, we heard her talking that, well, if I have a third kid, I'm probably going to stay home, and people, or even if the manager heard that, you can't anticipate or guess what's going to happen. You just have to go on the facts that are there at that time. And yeah, that causes a mess sometimes. Just like that, what people approve for leave, they get promoted or they're on a detail during that time, same thing. You know, they've already been one of the people that have been approved. Or like last year when the commissioner decided to give the day off after Thanksgiving and people already been approved for that, the decisions were made based on that. We're not going to go back and try and put all the pieces back together.
So if you're in advanced leave, that's not changing your position on the roster?
No?
So that person can use their position on the roster to supersede everybody else?
Well, if they use it, if they decide they're going to go and then they don't have the leave, they've lost their place on the roster. Once the moves are made on the roster, you lose it. You've lost your place. In other words, if you're number one on the list, Treese, and you say, I want off week of the 4th of July, and then it comes May, and you say, well, plans have changed. I don't have the money to go now, or my boyfriend or whatever, not going to pay for the ticket, or we broke up. I want to be back on the top of the roster. Too bad. They made the decision. No, I mean, they made the decision to give it to you. If you decide to work that week, you still lost your place on the roster. You know. Monique, you're always the bottom of the roster, so what difference does it make over? Now, just when we were talking about it, like if she puts in...
Up at the top search? Or in the quick
Yeah,
search?
just go ahead and put in the topic. Just put in FLMA. FMLA, I'm sorry. Family Medical Leave Act.
There it is. No, that says that. Family.
Okay.
2,000 hits. Yeah.
1 through sick leave annual. Now remember, these do not necessarily...
Because they picked up leave. That's what they did.
Right, and that will not relate to our contract specifically, but it will give you, particularly on the Medical Leave Act and absent without leave issues and that, it will give you guidance on it. It's not going to go in great detail, but like domestic partners on what it is.
Picked up every word, family. Family Friendly Leave Act. Family Friendly, Family and Medical Leave Act, and all those different acts.
So this site is just general information on the subjects?
This is a research tool that we use to look at the law that has been passed with regard to any subject.
Okay, that
I've put in bullying, I've put in...
Would that come up?
Yeah, I put it in all. I got a case one time that I sent to a bullying office, I won't say. But you know, you can pull up a case and people can see what happened in that case. What did they do to prove that this individual, because that's sometimes very subtle. And that's what this case showed, that you can't always put your finger on it, but they were able to win, prevail in that case.
The Office of General Counsel, or as to say, like if you get involved, someone uses it all the time too. I mean, it's just a tool that everyone uses. You know, this is just the easiest, quickest one to get you some idea on things that are not in the contract, on leave and that. And a lot of times if you show it to the manager or the guy, you give them a copy, then when they call, you've given them the resources they're going to ask questions about. And it will spell out the different things on it. Those are both things that, for the most part, managers know nothing about.